Alright, in this video I'm going to fix the headlight flashing issue I have with my Mazda 3. It's a 2013, but this also applies to 2012 Mazda 3s. What happens is if you're driving around at night and you apply the brakes, after the brakes engage, the headlights start flashing, not completely on and off, but definitely they get dimmer and brighter in sort of a modulating fashion until the car slows down. So the first thing I'm doing is checking the battery in the alternator. So I'll just throw the battery tester on. It shows about 13 volts. And then when I do the load test, it also looks pretty good, hanging around that 800 cold cranking amp mark. And obviously it's the winter and kind of cold out, so that's about right as well. So now I'm going to test the alternator, see if there's anything wrong with that, or if the vehicle's underpowered. So I'll just, with the car running, turn off all the accessories like the heater, heated seats, I'll turn off the lights, and then I'm going to go once again put the battery and alternator tester back on the battery and check the voltage output on the battery. And just with the car sitting at low idle, it definitely falls in the OK category of the charging system. So right in between 14 and 15 volts. And then when I put it at high idle by jamming a woodworking clamp against the steering wheel and the accelerator pedal, it shows about the same. Still about 14.5, 15-ish volts. So I don't see any problems with the battery or the alternator. And then I do go into the car with the camera running and just pump the brakes a little bit. You can see it does drop the volts slightly, but it doesn't go below 14 volts at any point in time. So it's not a dramatic drop. It's maybe half a volt if you apply the brakes. So you can't actually fix this problem yourself, and this is specific to Mazda 3 from the 2012 and 2013 years. The only way you can solve this problem is by going to Mazda and having them flash the PCM with new software. And this is covered under Technical Bulletin 01-019/13. I'm just out here on a dark road. A little bit bumpy, but you can see the headlights flashing on and off. So I do this 3 times, and probably the last one here is the best one to observe what's actually happening. So obviously this is a DIY channel and you can't do it yourself because you don't have the software to flash onto your Mazda 3. There's a good example of the headlights flashing. But they have to do it, and they charged me $43.50 Canadian, which isn't very much, but it still kind of made me mad because I bought this car new from the dealership in 2013, and this service bulletin came out before I even bought the car. So they should have flashed this, in my opinion, before I bought the car. And it's just something I didn't notice, driving around town. But once you notice it, you can't unnotice it. So I'm driving around after the flash, and it's fine. It was just a software update. But if you took your vehicle to a different maintenance shop, you could end up paying a lot of diagnostic fees just for them to try and determine what's going on, and maybe they wouldn't come up with it's a bad PCM flash solution. So you could end up spending a lot of money on something that's just a software flash that Mazda has to do, and like I said, in my opinion, they should be doing it at no cost. And I'll put a link to the technical service bulletin in the video description. And one recommendation I would have is just print that thing out and go into the Mazda dealership with that and tell them to do this flash if you're having this problem with a 2012 or 2013. That way you don't have them going in and doing diagnostics and stuff like that. Also, the technical service bulletin indicates the job is 0.3 hours in duration. So if they try and charge you more, you have something to go back on and say, no, that is a 20-minute job and that's what I'm paying for. Anyway, thanks for checking out my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.